Welcome to Directly to You. It's episode 183. I got to get that out of the way before I mess it up. I am AJ, a fanatixfour. I'm joined by Parker, a fanatixfour. We do a podcast here. We have a YouTube channel. We upload videos there. Sometimes you could go to youtube.com/fanatixfour or twitch.tv/fanatixfour and support all of those things. If you're not already following the Discord, I'm messing it up, dude. This is a different time, full disclosure. Anyways, if you're not already listening on podcast services, I need to add that earlier because we say it too late. You can follow on podcast services because it helps us out. You know, if you got Spotify, subscribe, follow, whatever they call it. If you're on iTunes or Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts, any of that stuff, we're there. Just look up Directly to You and we're there. Or you can go to anchor.fm/DTY and you can find all of our linked audio services. You can support that channel by going to youtube.com/fanatixfour or twitch.tv/fanatixfour and give them $4.99. And it doesn't even have to be your $4.99. It could be Jeffy Bezos' $4.99. Take it from him. He doesn't need it. He has way too many of those. Way too many $4.99. And in exchange for that, you get loyalty badges, you get emotes, you get free Switch keys from time to time, get access to the supporters only Discord where you get to name Nuzlocke Pokemon. The Nuzlocke is going strong. We will talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
Also, you can join the regular Discord for the free 99 by going to the link in the description where you can talk to people and somebody may or may not say yo, yo, yo. Anyway, we play video games here. What video game are you playing?
We do, but oftentimes I interrupt that with other random anecdotes before start to say the video games. For example, I just realized, my hair is like, a little bit long or whatever. Your hair doesn't technically look as long, but it's technically so much longer than
my hair is very long, and it's long, but it's not long enough to like to stay where I like. If I do this, it's gonna like. I need to get longer so I can like yeet it because it's in my face all the time. And
I was just thinking like each strand of hair of yours, like because it's dreaded and not mine's just like going straight down. Sometimes it flips up a little bit, but like each strand of yours like is probably maybe twice as long as mine or as yours looks to be or something. I don't even know.
It's very long. And plus it's not like it's going to get longer once I actually get it, or it's going to look longer once I get it retwisted. I have not done that in at least 2 months. So it's going to be even longer once.
Do they untwist it to retwist it? Is that a thing?
Not so like what happens is most times I don't know the process verbatim because I don't do hair. But a lot of times what happens is like they'll wash my hair and then like pull it out and then twist it because this is just like it's like new growth. It's like a lot of new growth. So they'll like dread the hair that isn't dreaded already. And then that like makes it look longer.
Yep. Speaking of things that are dreaded, the dreaded
nobody's playing
Hades,
Metroid Dread.
You're right.
Nobody's playing that.
That would have been a much better segue.
True.
I was just going to use it as an adjective. All right, the games we're playing. I'm playing Hades. I finally booted that up. I don't know, last weekend or something like that.
Nice.
And yeah, people are right. It's really, really good. I yet to be determined if I'm going to be like obsessed or sucked in or that kind of thing
of the video
but
game.
I mean definitely like I'll definitely say like it's definitely a super fun game and I'm enjoying playing it. I'm not like obsessing over it and thinking about it when I'm not playing enough. That's not enough. It has
fun to be the best game you ever played in the history of your life.
Pretty much. Yeah.
I can't say one way or another because I only played it for like 15 minutes and I was like, all right, I'll come back to this one.
Yeah. It's definitely like it's got interesting things where the gameplay loop is good and like it's a roguelike, but you're also upgrading yourself. Like there's always achievement that's being made for the long run where like, you're slowly getting stronger by building certain things up or that kind of thing. So that's neat. And also like certain bosses that you'd go in, like the first floor's main boss, you'll fight that boss a couple of times as it is, but then eventually you go there and it's like you've beaten that one a bunch of times, and so that boss will be different now or replaced with something else or something like that, where it's like those kinds of things. And like there's some little things that are nice touches where whatever you get killed by, oftentimes if it's the first time you've ever gotten killed by that, there's character that's like the first character that's standing in the Hall of Hades. So you like, you die, you come back to Hades or whatever. And Hypnos, I think is who it is, or something like that. He's like, oh, so you got killed by those guys, huh? Yeah, those guys will get you, or something, like talking about those things. And something about that feels like it all feels very well. It just feels like really neatly put together. And the combat's fun and all that stuff. For anybody who has played it, my preference right now, bow and arrow for sure, which I'm not surprised by
Camping.
at all. Yep. I mean, yes, 100% camping. And as far as boons go, probably my favorite is Ares boons, right? I think, who's the god of war.
I thought that was Kratos.
God of War.
I thought it was Kratos.
Oh no. But he has some boons that like my favorite particularly is your special inflicts doom. So basically, like the special is just like a scatter shot that's pretty weak, but it's a nice quick scatter shot that you can do with the bow and arrow. And doom is like damage or after a second or whatever. So like you hit them and it does like 10 damage or something, and then goes 100 damage. And then you can just do that a bunch of times, but very much camping, just like you pop out, do a scatter shot, hit like 7 different enemies,
to interact with you.
Leave. If it were against real human beings, then no. But against computers, 100%. I'm down to be as cheesy as necessary. So all that said, yeah, game's good. I'm enjoying it. So far I've gotten to the boss. I've done like 12 runs maybe, and I've gotten to the boss on the 3rd floor, and they wiped said floor with me. Yeah, but and I think there's 4 floors, but I could be wrong. I don't know about that. So yeah, that game. And then the other thing, I beat Yoku's Island Express, and it was
something's going on with your audio.
Oh no, am I back?
You're not. I can hear you, but it sounds like your mic got like unplugged or something.
Oh, I might. Okay, I might. We'll find out.
Check to see if your source changed.
Oh, so it just like sounds different than it did before now?
Yes.
Oh.
Well, I don't know if it sounds different on Discord, but in the recording for the podcast.
Okay, well, here you keep talking. You talk about some games, and then I'll.
Yeah, exactly. It sounds like the beach. That's what it sounds like.
Weird. All right, you talk. I'll figure stuff out.
Okay. I too am playing video games. I'm playing Smash. There's more motivation to continue my improvement even more than there was before, because one of the people that I got lessons with and I'm like pretty cool with at this point, Quid, he won a major Smash tournament in New York, the last like international situation. Well, semi-international is like, because it's COVIDing right now. So that was like that reinvigorated the PT stocks. Everybody's talking about PT now, and it's up. And like it's funny like having that connection, because like there's like certain things that he did in the tournament that I was like ambiguous, even as somebody that plays the character, where it's like, did he do that on purpose? So that I like messaged him and I was like, did you do that on purpose? And I'm not going to say what he said, because he said, gotta keep it between us. So I was like, I don't want to leak his secrets, but it's hilarious being able to be like, wait, what was that? So yeah, that's been interesting. And also I've just been like playing more in like grind Discords and stuff like that. So that's been fun. Other than that, continuing the Pokemon Sword Nuzlocke, I have finally conquered B without her taking any of my Pokemon. It was a dub.
Nicely done.
But chat is mad at me because first the baby died. The baby, you know who the baby is? It's Toxel. It's not even it's not even the Pokemon's name. It's never the Pokemon's name.
Yeah,
but right. I always call it the baby, either that or the child. I killed them. It was a combination of hubris and a meme. It was like it's fine. I can win this battle. It's fine. It's fine. And then I got high damage rolled or quit or something. No, the Pokemon had mud shot. I was in Ness's gym and I was battling a random gym trainer, and they freaking used mud shot on me. I'm like, yo, you're not supposed to have mud shot. You're like a Basculin or something stupid like that. So yeah, the baby died.
As Alex said, it was neglect. It's always neglect. My experience with Nuzlocke is very much that kind of thing where it's like, like they could take another one. It's
Yeah, I
no
was
big
like,
deal. And then they get a
and
crit. You
see,
know, I'm
but
like,
that even
no.
that, like, I just didn't like. I'm not
Mhm.
taking the. I'm not taking the fall. I'm not taking. I refuse to take the fall for Toxel. I refuse because I didn't know that that thing had freaking mud shot. I've never seen it do mud shot a day in my life, and I've
Yep.
played this game many times at this point.
Mhm.
Um, so Toxel, I'm not trying to hear that. The other two Pokemon, it's fine. All right, that's my fault. I'll take the hit for that.
Yep.
Who even was the other Pokemon? I don't know I don't see the thing about the second Pokemon. I didn't really care about that Pokemon. I don't even remember who it is. Who was
Uh-huh.
it? Who was the other Pokemon?
Uh,
No, never mind. I'm wrong. I got it mixed up. The second Pokemon that I lost. So I only lost Toxel. I thought I've lost more Pokemon. I thought I
mhm.
lost 4. But I lost 3. The second Pokemon that I lost was my starter,
Mm.
Inteleon, Bev Boy. And chat's mad at me for that because that kind of was neglect. That was because I
Mhm.
forgot to give Bev Boy a berry.
Oof.
So he died because I got high damage rolled and it was
Yep. Are you doing a Nuzlocke with like no items or anything like that too,
no,
specifically?
so you can't I can't heal in battles
Just
except
held
for like
items and
berries. They
yeah.
can heal because they're healing themselves. I'm not healing
Yeah.
them.
Yeah,
um
exactly.
but yeah, so I forgot to give him a berry, so he got clipped. It was very
Sad.
sad. That was the first one that I was actually sad about. I wasn't
Yeah.
really sad about Toxel because it was funny. Like chat's mad at me for it being funny, but it was funny. I don't so I don't know what to tell
I don't
you.
know what to tell you.
There's no way that I would have never guessed that thing had mudshot. I would have never guessed it. And I know that they can get ground moves, but I just did like I don't even think
Mhm.
Temple is a ground type yet. I think Palpitoad is a ground type, but I don't think Temple is yet.
It up.
Apart from that, I lost freaking my Balton named what's Balton's name? Balton's name. What was Balton's name? Outlet. That was his name. His name was Outlet.
Oh, nice.
I
Cute.
lost Balton, and I think I lost him to like another gym trainer.
Mhm.
It sucked. It was very unfortunate. I think I got crit or something like that.
Oof.
That was also sad. I was sad
Yeah.
about Outlet.
Yeah.
But yeah. Other than that, the run's going pretty good, and there's like a difference. There's still a trend. It seems like I lose Pokemon just in gym battles, but not against the
Mm.
gym leader.
Huh.
Before I
Interesting. Yeah.
lost most of my Pokemon when trying to catch another Pokemon, and
Yeah.
also to beat.
Honestly, happens because
Yeah.
like at that point, you and the opposing Pokemon have very different goals. Like
Yes,
yours is
the
get you
Pokemon
to a
wants to
certain
take
amount, and
out
then just like
everybody. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. Like Pokemon's like I don't know.
and
Just,
I don't want to kill the Pokemon.
yes,
So
exactly.
it's like
No, I've I mean not in Nuzlocke specifically, but just like in general, I've definitely several Pokemon have blacked out just because, or have got knocked out for that exact reason. Because like, yeah,
But
different
yeah,
goals.
other than that, the run's going good, man. I
Nice.
have so
You got
many
2 weeks
leftover
left.
Pokemon. It's true. It's true.
Yep.
Um,
Which that's crazy to think about. It kind of, in some ways, it feels like Legends Arceus is far away because it's
mm,
like the end of January, but it's like, I mean, it's 2 weeks. And then also like my parents are going to be in town in 2 weeks, who now. Hey.
it's true. I do.
Um,
I do.
but that feels like it's right around the corner, whereas
Mm.
Pokemon Legends
Pokemon
Arceus
feels
feels
like
not
it's
around the
forever.
corner.
But at the same
So
time, it feels Pokemon Legends Arceus is kind of in the place, and it's like it's weird to me because it's a Pokemon game, but also
mhm.
not because it's like I don't know. We just got a Pokemon game.
Yeah,
It's
right.
in this place where I'm fine waiting for it. Like I'm totally fine.
Mm-hmm.
Any other time, like if I'm super excited for a game, it sucks waiting for a new game. But this game, I'm like, I can wait.
Yeah.
like I'm excited to play it and I want to play it. But I'm not like chomping at the bit to play it. Like when it comes out, I'll play it.
Yeah.
I already have it pre-ordered, waiting for them to
Nice.
let me preload it. Which is like that's another thing that says to me at least that I'm not like super like again chomping at the bit to play this game because I
Mhm.
hate pre-installing games because I'm just tortured by the freaking
Yeah.
icon that I can't play. But
Mm-hmm.
now it's like whatever, I'm gonna play the game when I play it.
Yep.
So that's a
I
nice
mean, we'll
place to
talk
be.
about it a little bit more.
That's the perfect place to be in a game that you're like looking forward to because it sucks
Yeah.
anticipating things. Like
Yeah,
I
it
hate it.
does.
I just want to play the thing, but you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
cool.
I mean, generally, like it's at this point, I always have something to play. So there's
Yeah.
very few times that I'm like really. I think it's more curiosity at this point for that game and for Kirby probably as well, where it's like, man, I just don't like, I want to know if if the, you know, any amount of hype or whatever is justified, not justified. I'm sure it's somewhere in the middle for, you know, all things, but it's just like with so many things, like I was looking forward to Fire Emblem Three Houses, and I was like, that'll be fun to play, I think. And then I played it and I was like, this is fun so good, you know? Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's, I think with a lot of those things, I just want to know, you know, but
yeah,
2 weeks coming soon.
I mean, part of it is also, I don't know, is that in the doc? Is it in the doc that we have about
Legends Arceus?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So I'll wait.
I mean, yeah, we'll just wait. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, I mean, that's all the games I'm playing. Besides, like, played some more Stick Fight. I played Boomerang Fu as well. We played that with Mitch and Catherine, which is just a little party game with boomerangs and stuff. And it's silly. But you're going to be playing, from what it looks like, some Capcom games, perhaps.
It's true, but I mean, so are you.
Like, yeah, cool. I don't even know what this means. I know literally nothing about this. I saw you tweeted.
I mean, it's pretty much the equivalent of the Nintendo thing, but it's more fresh. So
yeah,
it's going to be easier to like take advantage of right now.
Right.
But yeah, it's like a Capcom creator thing. So it's like, you know, like Nintendo, where it's like every once in a while they'll like invite me and or us to like press events or
nice,
like send game codes and be able to like pitch to them like sponsored opportunities or just cool events,
or pitch to them ideas about like new Breath of Fire games, as Alex pointed out, that kind of thing. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, that's that was at the top of the list of the thing. I linked the like website.
I saw that. Yeah,
breaks down all the like perks. I'm in a Discord server with other Capcom creators.
Nice. Fun times.
I do want.
Do you know any of them off the bat?
I know one of them. That is my mutual that I met through the Twitch bootcamp situation. His name is OK Adrian. Twitch.tv/ I was about to say twitch.com. That's not right. Even though I redirect anyway. But twitch.tv/ OK Adrian. That's not funny. but yeah, no, he's cool. Capcom, I do want to ask them for like the first thing that came to mind for me is like, for the most part, it's like a future proofing thing. It's like whenever games come out that I'm interested in, I'll hit them up, or a Switch game in general, because I'm pretty sure if I'm not interested in it, you'll probably be interested in it. But I do want to hit them up for like Ace Attorney and play that on stream. Seems like that'd be a fun streaming game.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so Capcom, I always just forget like that they're Monster Hunter, that's Ace Attorney, obviously, you know, fighting games and stuff like that. I'd fully forgotten the Breath of Fire was them. And like, yeah, I don't know what else.
I don't know. Ask Ian.
Capcom.
I mean, I'd assume that there's going to be some for when the DLC comes out.
Yeah, right. Resident Evil is them, Mega Man's them, Devil May Cry. Yep. Okay, yeah. True. Some things, you know. Lost Planet, I don't even know what that is. Interesting.
Fire was there.
They did. Nice. Well, that'll be fun.
Yeah, should be neat.
Excited to see what pans out with that. Also excited to see what pans out, and even more excited than I was this time last week with Kirby and the Forgotten Land. We got, I called it. It's true. Additionally, we'll also be talking about, because I'm curious, they mentioned stuff about the 30th anniversary, and so I just want to throw out ideas of like, stuff related to that.
They can do for the 30th anniversary.
Yeah, but first of all, the game.
What will be the limited release game?
Honestly, some kind of online.
You know what would be like? You know what would be hype, but like piss people off if they did like Kirby Air Ride as like a timed release on the Switch. That would be so hype.
I very specifically thought, I was like, you know what? Honestly, I could see them doing. Why is my dog just barking? I don't know. I could see them doing some kind of Kirby racing game or something. Was an idea that I had.
Kirby Air Ride?
I mean, specifically Kirby Air Ride, but like a newer one, but like a smaller experience. So like to kind of go along with, you know, at this point, a bunch of Kirby stuff feels like not necessarily asset flips, but like they've got the models, so they're like, "I'll just do some stuff with the models," like the Kirby fighting game and the all that stuff. So similarly, Kirby Fighters 2 and what was the other one? Kirby.
They do a
Epic
Kirby's
Flash
Fighter,
or something.
Kirby Fighters bracket. Tournament during the like Smash circuit. Like it's like a side event.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, I mean, yes, Kirby, something with Kirby's Air Ride, I could definitely see. Well, I don't know. Could see it happen is a strong word, but like,
I don't think it's going to happen for sure. But I wouldn't be surprised if it happened. And I don't know if they're going to like. Something tells me they'll probably do a time release thing because they did last anniversary, and they usually do stuff like that for anniversary. But it's not. Yeah, it hasn't become like a branded thing until the last Mario thing. That was when everybody was like, "Oh, I can't believe Nintendo's doing this now." And it's like they have always done it. It has always been a thing that they do.
Yeah, some kind of hey dog, some kind of like. Honestly, yeah, what would be their timed exclusive thing? Like either
they re-released the 25th anniversary pack thing, but I don't know if that's like as worth it because I don't think Kirby Superstars isn't on the NES thing, right? I mean the SNES thing, right? On the
is Switch it not
online? Is it?
SNES games on Switch. I don't know. We can find out. Kirby, maybe. Kirby's Dream Land 3. Kirby. Find Kirby. I don't know is the answer.
I don't think it is. I mean,
it is. Check. Yep.
I'll check. Is it
Kirby Superstar? I see it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. So I don't know why they would even do that.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, I could see them also do like a remaster of a Wii game, especially, something like that, where like
Return to Dreamland.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
I think that's
off the top of my head.
Only Wii game
could super be.
I was not paying attention to Kirby during the Wii.
That's exactly why I don't know.
The only one I can think of is the Return to Dreamland on the Wii.
Yeah, that, and I think the 25th, the 20-year anniversary.
Well, yeah, that
collection, and that's.
But I mean, other than that, because I already mentioned that.
Yeah. It looks like maybe it just had some. Yeah. Oh, was Kirby Epic Yarn on the 3DS first or Wii U first? Wii U first.
Kirby Epic Yarn was Epic Yarn. I think Epic Yarn was a Wii game. That was
Wii. Okay,
that was on
gotcha.
Wii. That was on Wii. I just identify that as a 3DS game now.
Yeah, for sure.
That was the last thing that was released, provided by Nintendo.
Yep.
But yeah, game's cool.
Yep.
I don't think. I mean, they could do that. They could port that to Switch. I guess time they ported a 3DS game to Switch.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I mean,
first time Wii
either. We made a video last year, and where I was saying that, like, I feel like now that Wii U games are all done, Wii and 3DS games are kind of the next batch that just like makes sense because they're not going to be included in any kind of online service or anything like that. Whereas N64 games would and all that. So yeah, I don't know which ones it is. Like, I'm just not familiar enough with Kirby stuff to have many thoughts on that, but I could see some games coming.
Okay, so yeah, for the record,
related to that,
the only Wii games is the only Wii games are the ones that we said.
There you go.
Unless you're counting like virtual console.
So I guess we'll find out more about that just as the year goes on anyway. But the trailer, it looks like a good old time. What did we learn about it? What takeaways do you have, AJ?
Wait, did we learn nothing? Because it was what we said was going to happen, where it was like, just looking at the reveal trailer, it was like, this is a 4-player multiplayer game. It's going to be 3D world. It's 3D world, but it's Kirby, which is cool. Yeah, I'm down.
With like a little hub world kind of thing, which is a nice addition. Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's a little place to, like, Kirby's great at having mini games and stuff like that. And that's obviously included in here, but it's contextualized, which is really nice. Cause like in the Star Allies or whatever, you would just go to a menu and be like, I want to play this mini game, which is fine, and ultimately this will probably be a similar kind of experience, but something about it being in a hub world or something like that definitely makes it feel a bit
like
more
incorporated into the game, because like them breaking it up into pieces makes it feel cheap. If it's like thought out in a way that this, like, how can we use these mini games to add to the bigger picture, rather than like, we didn't know where to put this, so we'll just make it a mini game. Like, yeah, exactly. So I thought the co-op looked good, though. It seems like it is, from what I can tell, 2-player max co-op in this. I don't know that they specifically said that, so maybe I just saw 2 players and I'm like, oh, 2 players. But the way that it showed it too definitely made it seem like it's a first player is Kirby, second player is Bandana Waddle Dee, kind of like second player plays Bowser Jr. or something like that in Bowser's Fury. Okay, but I will say the second player interaction looks way more fleshed out and better than most games. It looks more like you're a real second player that does a thing. Like Luigi feels more like a second player than Cappy.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Cappy or like Luma in Mario Galaxy. I remember Mitch was hanging out at some point when I was playing Mario Galaxy 2, and I was like, I think there's a 2-player mode. And then he just like pointed at the screen and shot some star bits. And I'm like, that's not the best.
Also, wait, what? It says this game supports online play for what? Is it multiplayer online?
That would be cool. I'm not going to use it, but it would be cool.
How dare you? No, we're going to use it on twitch.tv.
We could. That's true. Honestly. Yeah, maybe. We do. Interesting. I mean, if not that, then what? It seems like it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense to do anything else like that, other than, I don't know, like some kind of boss rush mode sort of a thing, or, something within that vein, but I don't really know. But I mean, overall, like, yeah, it very much looks like, I think gameplay wise, it's going to be kind of familiar, probably, in terms of it's Kirby doing Kirby stuff, but it won't have like, I mean, maybe the puzzles will be a little bit more complicated because it's just one person doing them with maybe a co-op second person, as opposed to the stuff in Star Allies where it had to be dumb enough for 3 AI characters to like come along with you and figure out to hold up an umbrella or something like that. But
also I think it's going to be a little bit quote unquote harder just because it's a 3D game.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So you just can't hold right and button mash. You gotta, aim a little bit and stuff like that, which I'm very fine with. I'm curious if there's because like playing 3D World last year, for example, which was my first time playing it, most of that game was pretty easy. Generally, like if you're just trying to get to the end, most of the game is quite easy.
Right.
But it was once I started to try to get all the collectibles that it became more fun, because those are a little bit more challenging to get some of the time. And then also at the end, like Challenge Road and stuff, I died again more times in Challenge Road alone than the whole rest of the game combined.
Right. So that's how they make the game accessible without like giving you a hard mode, because giving people hard modes is like this whole thing of like, well, then you feel like inferior. Because you had to pick the baby mode for baby.
Or also just like, what's the smart way of doing a hard mode? Like sometimes, like I played Diablo 3 a little bit when it came to Switch, and I remember upping the difficulty, and it's just like, well, everybody's just a bullet sponge now, and that's not more fun. It just, that's just lame. Like, I'm not a fan of that.
Adding more math is not fun.
Yeah, right, exactly.
but the thing about like the Mario games that are like the 3D World and New Super Mario Bros. And all that stuff, is they make themselves more challenging, but it's optional. It's not like gatekeeping the game by being like, you got to be a gamer to beat this level. It's like, you got to be a gamer to complete this game, which is fair. It's like only like gamers are going to want to complete the game.
Yep.
It's a good compromise.
It is. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And it's like, I mean, at the same time, those optional things will teach you things about the game. Like, I feel like oftentimes in these games, there's 2 or 3 ways to do the main objective or whatever, like thinking specifically of 3D World, that to get to the end of a section, you could go up this way or down this way or across this thing. And the challenge is a little bit different depending on what you do. And maybe one's a little harder, or it's just harder depending on what you prefer to do or what power up you got or any of that kind of stuff. But then a certain star is going to be, no, you've got to get specifically this power up and do this one objective thing. And that I feel like is good at then like teaching people, like if they really want to get that green star, then like here's what you got to learn how to do, and then grows them as a player, and that's nice. So I could see the same kind of thing definitely being the case here. I hope that it's not collectibles for collectibles sake kind of a thing, because that definitely in my limited time with Star Allies, that was the feeling for sure, where it's just like puzzle pieces, cool, whatever. Like Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, perfect example of like there are 9 puzzle pieces in this level, or like 5 puzzle pieces, and if you look hard enough you'll find all of them, and it's a bit of a challenge to do them, as opposed to just like there's a door to somewhere else, I got to do that thing and then pop on back and I got the thing.
Right.
I don't know. So yeah, I'm really excited about this game. I think the more I see of it, the more it looks up my alley, and specifically like a fun game that Ashley and I can play together.
I'm more excited, or not excited. That's a weird way to quantify it. I'm not going to say more excited. I'm more intrigued by this game than I am Arceus currently. Because Arceus is turning out to be what I expected it to be in a more negative way. Where it's like this game. Well, I mean, when we talk about Arceus.
Exactly. Yeah.
Are we?
Or do you want to? Yeah, let's do it. Okay, sure. Let's talk about
it for Kirby. We're on to Arceus. They released. I
mean, we'll bounce between the two. It's fine.
That's fair. They released gameplay, 13 minutes of it, of just gameplay. Well, not just gameplay. They guided
narration and stuff. Yeah.
And watching that was my like not worst case scenario, and like if this game sucks, it's this, but like my most like conservative guess for what this game was going to be is like this game is going to be kind of bare bones in terms of how it uses the open world, and it's going to use the open world in the most like obvious ways that we could think of, and that's not great because Pokemon obviously wasn't made to be an open world game, so they need to add more to the gameplay loop to make it conducive to open world gameplay.
Right. Yeah.
But here, just based on what we've seen and what they said about the type of missions that we'll have, it will be Pokemon Go styled. Oh, well, I need you to catch another Shinx because I didn't get a good look at that Shinx's feet. So you got to catch me a Shinx with big feet, like stuff like that. And I think that like that's fine for padding in a larger experience. Like Breath of the Wild has like fetch questy side quests too, but the meat of the game doesn't feel side questy.
Right.
And so far what we know,
I mean, and for what it's worth, I see what you mean about the meat of the game. I guess the thing is we don't know that much about it feels like we only know about the side quests.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly. And that's the thing that kind of scares me, because like it could just be that like if it's just what we've seen, the meat of the game is probably the like defeating all the what are the Pokemon called?
Noble
Pokemon?
Equivalent?
Yeah, the noble Pokemon. Like that is like the meat of the game, and then the like trainer's journey equivalent. Obviously it's like gotta catch them all, but the like secondary or really primary thing, but ends up gameplay wise playing out more like a secondary thing is just clearing all the quests.
Right.
And that's fine. But
yeah. That's interesting. So my takeaway from this trailer was definitely the opposite, in that I liked seeing that they had actually at least considered the gameplay loop, and whether or not it's a gameplay loop that we like or whatever, or is, as fleshed out or something like that. It feels like at least at a minimum level, in the same way that like I didn't love Diablo when I played it, but it had a specific at least gameplay loop that feeds into itself, and I was worried that it would be things like all this stuff in Pokemon Legends Arceus would be too disparate from each other or something like that. So that seems to be, those fears are a little bit alleviated. But again, whether or not it's enticing and whether or not I want to go back in and like get more missions from people and stuff like that, or if it's like, I guess I'll just go pick up some of these missions, that's definitely still the question. But I mean, it is, you know, fun to catch a lot of different kinds of Pokemon and stuff. And there is something to be said for, in the same way, like shiny hunting is a fun thing. To some degree, well, shiny hunting is a thing in the same way that finding a shiny, yes, I'll take that back, in the same way that finding a shiny is exciting and all that. The benefit of this and it being a big open world and stuff is like they could be fairly intentional with like finding rare Pokemon and that, or like having different levels of rarity and that kind of thing, and it feeling pretty good to like finally stumble on, you know, something that you've been looking for, something like that. So hopefully that'll kind of pan out. And like with the alpha Pokemon and all of that. I do. Yeah. Alec just said, still like the look of the battle system. I definitely agree with that. I like the agile and strong thing and the like tactics of like going quick and like getting in a punch there.
I like
come back and do more.
I like it more than the current battle system, but I do not think that it is enough to make it feel fun for the long haul. You know, like it's not
I can
something
see that,
like something like it, as like fans of RPGs, that's the type of thing that's like, all right, I beat the game and I'm done with the game and that's it for the game. But Pokemon and at large, most open world games are about more than just that. Yeah, it's like the reason why people dump 3, 4, 5,000 hours in Breath of the Wild is because it's fun, like fun, like amusement park roller coaster, like direct, not like like in a more abstract sort of fun way to play the game. The act of playing the game is rewarding because it is entertaining, not because it's like, oh, I play Pokemon and I trained for this long for this Pokemon and I have this strong Pokemon now that I get to keep, and or I have a shiny Pokemon that I have forever and that's cool, you know. In this game, I'm not entirely sure if that is a part of it. I don't know if like the Pokemon, like say they do the like Pokemon Go thing, right? Or Let's Go. With Pokemon Let's Go, all the stuff that you do to get a stronger Pokemon by getting the candies and stuff like that, that doesn't last forever, because once you transfer over the Pokemon, they yeet those stats and like, because they're specific to that game. So it doesn't even have like, or it doesn't seem like it will have even the more like reward that current Pokemon games have, where it's like, all right, I spent a long time doing this monotonous thing, but I have something to show for it. I don't know what that will be for this.
I mean, I guess for what it's because that's definitely depends on the person, where like I don't use Pokemon Home at all. So as far as me having something to show for it, that lives within the game anyway. So for me particularly, that wouldn't matter, but I could see how for somebody else it's like cool, and then that's stuck in that game, and that's actively disappointing. Whereas for me, it would be actively nothing. Just like,
because I think that's like a big part of
valid
Pokemon.
For sure.
Like even if like it's a thing that not everybody takes advantage of, something that they have promoted for as long as Pokemon has been a thing is like, this is a creature that you get to keep forever. And like they confirm that Pokemon Home is a thing for this game, so you'll be able to like transfer to Pokemon. But what I'm worried about is like, is the time that I spend with this Pokemon going to matter in the way that it does in current games, where it's like, all right, I
would
grinded
guess
for this
so.
like perfect stat Pokemon or whatever by breeding and all that stuff.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, especially with the candies or whatever, and like that you could use those too. I mean, because you can use stuff in Pokemon Sword and Shield to change stats and all of that to where, I don't know. I'm curious. My inclination would be yes, but find out, you know. I've no known.
Cursed. Mark said the solution here is clear. Turn Pokemon into NFTs. Super cursed.
Here's the thing with NFTs in gaming and all that kind of thing. Like our friend Rob tweeted earlier, he's like, if you're not tweeting about NFT, or if you're not talking about NFTs being bad in gaming and stuff, like, then that's bad. And like, I get that and stuff. My vague guess on it, opinion on it or whatever, is it's like a couple people at the top that are, and like some random people that are really excited about it, are really going to try it, and it's going to fall flat on its face in terms of gaming. And like pretty much everybody's going to vote with their wallet. That's like, I don't really care that much. And then it's just going to like fizzle out. I obviously don't know much about it, so maybe not, but
I think that the reason why it's like Rob feels that way is because the people that want this to succeed and the people that could make this succeed, i.e. the like target audience,
right,
want the same thing out of it. And they're like the type of person that is the target audience is like, it's like a predatory thing on the end of the producer. It's basically like get rich quick, like gambling level stuff, where it's like, hey man, like this is going to be valuable. If you get this Pac-Man, this is your Pac-Man, and people love Pac-Man, so you can make money off of this Pac-Man because people are going to want to pay for Pac-Man. You know what I mean? And it's like, I know people that are like, yo, this new NFT stuff, I missed out on Doge, but I'm not going to miss out on this. You know, like that sort of thing. It's Vegas, but for gamers. Like,
I mean, I'm not a fan for what it's worth. I'm hoping that it just, because I feel like the people, you know, no matter how much stink is raised or whatever, I feel like the people that are trying to make it happen are the stubborn people, you know what I mean? Like the people that are going to just do it regardless. So like, you know,
until it doesn't work, and then
exactly. I'm just ready for it to
not work,
to just, you know, happen and then go away within games that I'm never going to be touching anyway. So that I also have some, you know, I don't know, distance there, because like,
you don't have like,
you know, if it's Ubisoft games and stuff, unless it's Mario plus Rabbids or you know their Star Fox game they make or something like that, it's like, all right, cool, go for it. I mean, don't, but you know, as far as my personal stuff is, Merck said Bob made a good point on Wolf Den Pod that anything they're coming up with implementing NFTs into games don't actually need NFTs.
Yeah,
true,
exactly. They don't, but that's how they're going to sell it, you know, like they're going to talk about it like it's only possible through NFTs. And that will net income. I don't know if it's going to be sustainable or successful, but there will be people that are stupid enough to fall for it. For sure.
So obviously NFTs Pokemon, you know. But I mean, for Pokemon Legends Arceus, we'll find out about it very soon enough, but I'm
2 weeks.
I'm looking forward to playing it.
It will be Pokemon, and that's cool. You know, like I feel like this game, and also I'm like, I know that most of what I said was like more on the negative side, but I do want to play this game, and I am interested in this game. It was just, I'm just saying that it's what I expected in terms of like, it's not Breath of the Wild.
Right.
Like, even though I knew that, it would have been cool if it was more of that, you know?
I mean, the nice thing, like the thing that Breath of the Wild specifically does super well is like emergent gameplay and that kind of thing. And like, that's not something I can envision happening almost whatsoever within this, you know, like
in this game,
best case scenario, best case scenario is, Monster Hunter World type emergent gameplay that maybe they haven't shown us at all, in that maybe two Pokemon fight each other for some reason, like two wild Pokemon, in the same way that like in Monster Hunter since World and also in Rise, if there's two monsters, they'll like, you know,
and
fight each other, something like that. And that's cool.
To some degree, they've implemented stuff that we talked about in the past, where it's like, oh, this Pokemon is more aggressive than this Pokemon.
Exactly.
But
and that's great.
It's like they're halfway there, because it's like, why does every Starly have to be aggro?
Right?
You know, like you, like Pokemon Game Freak, you guys have a system in place that tells me if a Pokemon is aggressive or docile or brave, you know, or hasty, you know, like why not use that to inform the Pokemon's behavior,
because especially
and out of battle.
I mean, that would make it really interesting to be like, oh, a Starly, I can just like, you know, do this or that to it, or like sneak up on it and make him fly away, and then suddenly he's like, nah, he's attacking you because he's the leader of the pack, and
Starly.
Like and then, you know, he's like level 70,000 and explodes your face. That's how it works. 70,000. I was going to say one last thing about it, and it was the following. Yeah, so no emergent gameplay and stuff like that, which is fine. I think, like you said, it's still going to be Pokemon in the same way that like Pokemon Go is still Pokemon, and this is definitely closer to Pokemon Go. I mean, closer to standard Pokemon than Pokemon Go is. You know what I mean? Like, and even though obviously Pokemon Go isn't RPG Pokemon or anything like that, like it'll be fun to play. But yes, like you said, it's just not the Breath of the Wild thing,
which would have been like
would have been great.
It's not something that I expected. It is something that a lot of people still expect. But it is like, man, we do have to wait longer for this.
Yeah, right.
But it's good to know that they're thinking about it at least.
Yep. Yeah. So even if, you know, these Pokemon don't fight each other in the wild, like in Monster Hunter Rise is fighting out in the wild on Steam and on Switch, and it's doing great.
That's true.
That's it. That was the transition. There's not a whole lot to talk about it on this, but just that Monster Hunter Rise is on Steam now, and it's selling well. It's sold over 7.5 million copies on Switch in less than a year, and peak concurrence is like 90,000 on Steam, which is, nice, to what I understand, pretty good, I guess. Yeah. So I am interested to see, like, especially with God of War coming to PC this week, next week, some around now-ish, and that being something that like the devs were fighting for and stuff like that. I still in no way ever expect Nintendo first-party stuff to come to Steam. Yeah, to PC, exactly. But I do wonder if that trajectory is enticing for more third-party publishers to do like Switch exclusive stuff for exactly that reason, where it's like, oh, we can, you know, kind of have our cake and eat it too at that point, because Switch is doing great, so you can sell on there, but then also have the backup of having Steam later. And obviously, you know, Nintendo's not mad about it because they did it with Octopath Traveler, came out on other things, and that came out on, that's on Xbox, right?
Yeah, it's on Xbox now.
Is that on PlayStation as well?
Steam first. I don't know if it's on PlayStation yet or at all.
Huh.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's.
But I do know that, like, I think they no, because we were like kind of surprised by it. I was like, was that one that they said was going to come to PC? I think it was Daemon X Machina.
Yeah, like that one was like very shortly after too. Like that to me definitely seemed like, if this is even a thing, that they had a clause where it's like, if we don't sell well, we're going to go somewhere else as well. And Nintendo's like, all right, cool. And it did not sell well. So they were like, all right, cool. They just went to PC. But yeah, I played the demo of that game. I played both demos and I wanted to be excited for it. And
same, the reveal trailer, I was like, this game looks sick.
Yep.
And then I played the demo and I was like, this game, not fun.
Yeah, no, it was bad. I remember I got stuck like out of bounds in one of them. Like it was fighting a bit, I don't know, there was, the main thing had a force field and I kept getting stuck out of bounds and not able to like get back in, and it would just keep blowing me back out of bounds and stuff, and that was annoying. And then another time, like I guess you have to pace your missile usage and ammo and stuff like that, which it doesn't specifically tell you, because it doesn't, I don't know, it just didn't tell you that, and it wasn't super obvious what the thing was that you had to do. So I think I just wasted a lot early on in the battle. So I eventually was just like wandering around with no ammo at all, except for if I got out of my mech and was just my little guy going pew, 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 against like a colossal big old robot thing. And that felt like a waste of 45 minutes of me trying desperately to just like, you know, gun this thing down. Yeah, that was the time.
The biggest thing for me was like the controls felt like garbage. Like
yeah,
it's like needlessly obtuse.
It was.
Check me out. I don't know any of this.
Yeah. But you know it's not needlessly obtuse? Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. And playing it is especially even less obtuse through January 20th, because if you got Nintendo Switch Online, just play it for free. Right there on your Switch.
Free, my God. Product provided by Nintendo.
True.
Yeah, this game's cool. You should check it out if you have Switch Online and haven't played this game. It's neat.
Alex said, "Don't play it co-op."
Oh yeah. Alex was talking about how him and Red, it was almost a relationship ender. And I was like, yo, I would have never expected that for this game. I never would have thought. I never played it co-op. I only played it.
Yeah, I played it co-op a little bit. but I think it was kind of before Ashley had started playing games very much. So it was the two of us playing, and at least for some of it, it was kind of like sort of me telling her where to walk and stuff like that. At this point, it actually probably would be, well, assuming it doesn't go how Alex's situation went. It probably
so
would
it's
have turned
like
out well.
it's like Captain Toad Treasure Tracker in multiplayer on 3D World.
Oh, he said you both have control of the camera, and that's not good. That's okay. That is true. The benefit was I was the only one controlling the camera because, again, Ashley hadn't played many games, so she didn't like controlling the camera. So I was like, all right, cool, I'll do it. But I could definitely see that being tricky, and especially with that game where it's like the whole point of it is like it's a toy box thing that you're like trying to puzzle out or whatever. It is hard to see where you're at any given time. So if you're not together, yeah.
See, that was 100. Somebody brought up, I think that was also on stream. You should come to the Twitch streams if you don't already. Twitch.tv/fanatixfour. Somebody brought up the like playing the Mario games and multiplayer, like how there's always somebody that's like the troll. And I was like, well, that's not me, because it was like there was always somebody else. It was either Jerica or Scootish, but the Captain Toad levels, I was trolling because I told them, I was like, do not go into this, it sucks. And then they went to it and I was like, all right. I was like, you asked for this. And then it was terrible.
That's great. I enjoyed the Captain Toad levels in I need to play more of Captain Toad.
I like the Captain Toad levels, but in multiplayer, for the reason that Alec is talking about, it is torture.
I could definitely see that. Yeah.
And it's way worse than 3D World, I'd assume, because there's 4 people controlling the camera, not just 2.
Very accurate. Oh man, that's true. Because it was just one player in on the Wii U, right? When in the Captain Toad stuff. Oh man, yeah.
Yep.
What a time. Yep. So yeah, there you go. There's that Captain Toad. Go play it. I think I can't remember how much of it I played. I'd probably play.
I beat the first 2 chapters.
I think that's around how much I played as well. Somewhere around there. I think like again,
a bonus chapter or something like that.
There's some games like that one was one. So like Luigi's Mansion, Ashley and I played the first half together. And then like we hadn't played it in a while, and I was like, is it okay if I just finish it? And she's like, sure, yeah, that's fine. And then so I finished more of it. Maybe she dipped in here and there with me, I can't remember. And then Captain Toad, I think, was a similar one where I was like, let's play it together. So we started together, and then at some point we didn't pick it back up. But also I have it on a cartridge, so that's not going back in there because something else is going to be in there, like yeah, I'm bad at playing physical games oftentimes. I love having like
in my OLED, and there might be one. I don't think so because it like goes to the front automatically if it's in there. No, I don't have any.
Well, it goes in as soon as you take it out and put it back in, I think. So like if you left it in, it would kind of, I don't know, work its way down.
I know there's nothing in my OLED because I didn't put a game in there. The first game I installed was like Dread, and that was digital. So I got to check in my regular Switch and see if any games in there.
Yeah, I think for me it works out really well playing like big RP. Like if I have a main game that I'm playing, like right now I have Hades physically, and for right now that's working out great because I'm not taking it out and putting anything else in. I'm just playing that. Possibly at whatever point, like if in a 6 months I've beaten the game, I'm like, oh, I want to pop back into Hades, like maybe that'll be a thing. But for the most part, it's working out well, and it's a nice little, it looks nice and all that stuff, and it has things in it, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, it's tricky times. It's also tricky times being on the Switch and being a superhero game because there's not a lot of them, is the prompt. That's
true.
Okay, so this was a question from Q&A, but I was like, you know what, this is interesting, let's talk about this as a thing. So Kraus at the M Kraus on Twitter asked, where are the good superhero games for the Nintendo platform, a la Spider-Man 2 on the GameCube? Been playing PS4 Spider-Man, would love to see some more love for the Switch.
Yo, wait, did I tell you about my whole freaking Spider-Man Miles Morales debacle?
I don't think so.
On today's episode of the PlayStation 5 is garbage and a half-finished console. I was trying to play Spider-Man Miles Morales, the New Game Plus, because I never played the New Game Plus. Because I was like, if I want to play New Game Plus, I might as well play it on PlayStation 5 once I eventually get my PlayStation 5. So I was like, oh, okay, I have my PlayStation 5. I don't touch this thing. This thing's collecting dust. I can play Miles Morales on this console. And I was like, okay, well, let me get my PlayStation 4 save. Let me get it from the cloud, and then I should just be able to turn the game on and play the video game, right? That's how that should work, correct? It's not how it works. What I had to do is I had to download the freaking like 60 gigabyte file of the PlayStation 4 version to turn the game on, to download the, mind you, I downloaded it from the cloud. It's on my PlayStation 5. I had to download that save from off of my PlayStation 5 onto the PlayStation 4 version to re-upload it again to the Spider-Man Miles Morales specific server or whatever to delete the game that I spent like, I don't know, my internet's pretty fast, but it's still 60 gigabytes. It's still like an hour of my life or something like that. And I deleted the game and I installed the thing and then I could play it. Freaking stupid. It's so dumb. It's so dumb, especially when the Series X is literally like, put the disc in.
Yep.
I'm playing the game. I'm playing the video game. Man. A lot of times it's like I'll like load like an Xbox 360 game that I had a cloud save on from 2011, and it just boots up, and I'm like, oh shoot, I didn't even know I played this game before. You know, like
man, that's so frustrating.
If you have next gen FOMO, don't worry, it sucks. It's not done yet. It won't be done until next year at the earliest.
As you were telling that story, I was cracking up silently. Merc said, there can't be more superhero games on Switch because there's no more heroes.
Oh, and that's true. That's true.
It's so
that's
good.
A good point. That's a good point. You know, we figured it out. We solved the mystery.
Yep.
In fact, there's 3 no more heroes. There's 4. There's 4.
So many.
There's so many no more heroes.
Yeah, but man, that does suck about Miles Morales New Game Plus. Did you ever? I was distracted the whole time. Did you ever get to play it? Or
I did play it. I didn't finish it because so after that whole debacle, I played it for like 30 minutes, and I was like, I was so mad. I was so mad playing this game where I was like, it was not worth that whole process. Yeah. So now I was just like, I don't want to be mad playing this video game. I'm turning it off. I'm gonna play something else. And I played something on Game Pass or whatever. But I did eventually go back to it. And like sometimes when I'm like hanging out in VC with like Colton and Lee and everybody, I'll play Miles Morales where we're just talking about nonsense. That was a game I didn't mention in what we're playing because you know, there's a whole thing, dude. There's trauma associated with that.
Feel that. That's rough. But yeah, so I mean, games wise, the ones we do have is like Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Marvel Midnight Suns is coming.
There's a lot of games that we've mentioned that Nintendo has sent. A lot of the older games that we talked about today, Nintendo sent.
Indeed.
But yeah, there's Marvel's Ultimate Alliance. That game's
fun. Yeah, I played a little bit of that one. I played it. I think for the most that I played it was with you, Bob, and Will. Honestly,
yes, that was hilarious.
Yeah, that was a fun time. But yeah, other than that, like, there's probably others that I'm not thinking of. Alex said Lego. I guess Lego Incredibles, Lego Batman, and stuff like that. Yeah. But like, as far as like, you know,
there's no like Spider-Man equivalent or like Wolverine is supposed to be, you know, there's nothing like that. Or even, you know, Avengers or the Guardians of the Galaxy. That's on there.
Oh, that's true. That is a good point.
Yep. So the newest,
apparently pretty good. I haven't played it all
game that has been released is on Switch.
Indeed.
So we at least do have that.
Yep. So here's the question: if you could have your choice, who would be
Black Panther free?
Okay, there you go. No, okay, top 3. Who would be top 3 superheroes to associate with? Like, that's the Nintendo superhero, you know, game character.
Well, we can't do Iron Man because there's already that on PlayStation.
Right.
Can't do Spider-Man, obviously. Can't do Wolverine. So I guess like Black Panther, Fantastic Four. You know,
I could. Oh yeah. That's honestly a really good pick.
And
because that fits in with Marvel Ultimate Alliance without being kind of nebulous. Like, it's pretty. I mean, Marvel Ultimate, like that's it's kind of specific because it's Marvel, but also it's pretty broad because it's the whole cast and crew.
Right.
But yeah, Fantastic Four is a good call.
What's the other one? Freaking.
Maybe just like completely wrong on purpose, and like Deadpool, like in a Conquer's Bad Fur Day kind of way.
Yeah. I mean, they could just straight up
Bayonetta,
do Deadpool. I was about to say because Bayonetta's on the Switch.
Yeah,
like
that's true. Yeah, that would be interesting. How M-rated is Bayonetta? I haven't played.
Bayonetta is super M-rated. It's M-rated really? in like every way that there's a reason that you would give a game an M rating. It has that. It's sexual. It has swearing excessively, and it's gory. It's like those are the three temples of rated M video games, and it's got all.
Yeah, man. That's funny. Yeah, I mean, so that would just be a funny one. I feel like for exactly that reason. So the thought that I had about superhero games and Switch and stuff is like, I guess part of the problem is that a lot of the like people who own the rights to superhero things, like superheroes and like flash and pizzazz and like spectacle and stuff kind of go hand in hand these days, especially. And so that is one thing that's probably holding it back from like people don't want to put those games on Switch as much because it's like, the
we
big
our 4K,
big fancies. Yes, exactly.
Second. AJ, I have a Capcom request. Marvel versus Capcom.
Nice.
What, for it to exist or for it to be on Switch? Or
all the above? A new one.
Okay.
I don't even. How many are there?
5, there's 3, 2. Marvel versus Capcom 1, 2, 3, Infinite. I don't know if there's another one other than that. So at least 4. There's at least 4 that I know of. And people hate Infinite. They hate it. I never played it though.
I wouldn't know.
I never played. Well, I probably played like at like a Chuck E. Cheese or something. I might have played like Marvel versus Capcom 2. But I never owned Marvel versus Capcom.
I don't know that I've ever even played it. I'm very, very terrible at actual fighting games. Like, not that Smash isn't an actual fighting game, but it's a platforming fighting game. It's got extra like things to it, and I'm okay at Smash.
See, the thing about I can see why that is, like, because regular fighting game or quote unquote regular fighting games,
right? Yeah.
They're like very front loaded in terms of like being able to play and like have fun, other than like if both people that are playing are just mashing buttons. Because if both people are mashing buttons, it's like whatever. But if one person even knows 2 combos, it's not fun,
right?
Because the other person could just use those 2 combos on you and you're going to die. Stuff like those more traditional fighters are so front loaded because they're all about learning those combos and then knowing when to use them. Smash Brothers is like you can get by because pretty much all the combos, quote unquote, all the like moves are the same. And the only thing that you need to like learn combos is to understand the game's physics. Because then it's like, okay, well, I know that if I hit you with this attack, if I dash attack you, I might be able to hit you with a forward air. It's like that sort of thing. And it's a lot like more intuitive to do the trial and error. Whereas like with traditional fighters, there's like commandless, and it's like, oh, I gotta do semicircle A, B, 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 A, down, B, A.
There's definitely also like there's a learning curve kind of thing where like button mashing is better than a little bit knowing how to play, in my experience at least. If I was just like button mashing, it's like I'll get lucky more often than if I try to learn just a tiny little bit, and then I'm like trying to do those things but I'm failing at doing those things more often than not, you know what I mean? And so like then at that point, because I remember I tried to play, there's a Thai restaurant this close to us that I placed an order, and I got there and it wasn't ready yet, and they had a little Street Fighter machine, and I played it on, I think, a fairly normal easy difficulty, and I could not win because like I don't know, I'm just bad at it. And I was like trying to, that's the thing. Yeah, I was trying to like kind of play smart and play well and whatever. But I promise you, if I was 10 years old, I would have beaten it because I just would have been like, blah, 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 like just pressing buttons, So yeah,
also, I don't know what they call it, freaking down light or whatever, the down tilt equivalent of Street Fighter. You can spam that. I know a lot of people do that.
Nice.
They spam down tilt.
That's like a low kick kind of thing.
Yeah. It's like a super like the way that they spam it. It's like they just kick their foot out over and over again. It's like
that doesn't sound annoying at all.
It's super annoying. But yeah, no, I'm down for Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah.
I'm down. Yeah. Now because of Smash, I do like labbing things out and learning how combos work. So I think that if a game were to come out, I would care more.
I can see that.
I don't know if I would stick with it for a long time, but I would at least try it.
Yeah. I mean, and especially because it's a game that's at least probably been built well with like intention, as opposed to like Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl or whatever, where it's like there's as good intentions as there can be there, but at the same time, like there's not a level of prestige necessarily behind that just assumes quality,
right?
And they could still mess up. Obviously, if people didn't like Infinite, then like they messed up something about that game.
Yeah, I don't even know why people don't like Infinite, because I don't know. I'm not in that scene. I don't know anything about the first 3 games. Yeah. I wasn't even entirely sure if there was only 3 games before that game.
I can imagine with a lot of that kind of thing, it's maybe not that the like fighting itself, it would be kind of like if Pokemon battles were the same, but now they added Gigantamax, and it's like an extra thing ruins some smaller thing or something like that. Not to say that Dynamaxing necessarily does, but that kind of an example, and I don't know. So like maybe it's that the base mechanics are still just as good quality, but because of some additional something else, it like cheapens the whole flow. I'm making words up.
I wonder if it was like an auto combo thing. I know traditional fighters, people don't like those. They hate those, man.
Yeah. I don't know. Let us know in the somewheres below. But yeah, so finishing up superhero things, I think so. Our list was, and I agree with this: Black Panther, number 1. That'd be great. Fantastic Four and Deadpool or Doctor Strange. One or the other of those. I like it. Last newsy kind of bit thingy is that it's been 5 years since the Switch Unveiling event.
Yo, it's hype. Also, 5 years since I met Bob in person.
That's true. I don't know. I don't have a whole lot specifically to say, but like, any thoughts?
Talk about like freaking, when we got our Switch and stuff like that, man.
Yeah.
Didn't you get your Switch like a month after something?
I did. Yeah, I was planning on going till my birthday, which was in October. It was, going that 1 month was like hard, but it was like we didn't have. Okay, I'm gonna paint the picture here, starting from the beginning. We were living with some friends of ours, and because we were saving up to buy a house, and we were looking for a house and stuff like that, and so we bought this house like end of February. Switch came out, beginning of March. I didn't have money to buy a Switch anyway, so I was like, I'm just gonna wait till my birthday and all that stuff. And then meanwhile, Nate, my boss at the time, got a Wii U, and we played Breath of the Wild a little bit at his house, like when launch day. And I was like, oh man, this game's really, really good. And then Mitch found a Switch somewhere like 2 weeks later, and then he started playing Breath of the Wild. I was like, I want to do it, but it'll be all right. I'll hold out till later. And then I got my tax return, and it was exactly, we owed our friends some money from us living with them, and they didn't charge us a ton, but some. We owed them some money, and the leftover was exactly the right amount for a Switch plus Breath of the Wild. And I was like, Ashley, here's the thing: we can save this money, we can use it some responsible way. I can get a Switch and Breath of the Wild with it, but we can do whatever. And she was like, you get you that Switch and Breath of the Wild. And I said, okay. And I called like 5 Walmarts, and one of them was like, oh yeah, I think we got one more of those. And I was like, please hold it. And then I drove over there. It was great.
Nice.
Switch.
So my story with the Switch, already had a YouTube channel, was not uploading the same way. I mean, kind of like now. Well, actually not like now at all. But really just uploading whenever there was like an idea for a video.
Yeah.
And we also did like the podcast adjacent show, and that was mid. But me and Bob and Will, when Wolf Den Live was still a thing, we watched the presentation together, and like when they revealed it, and I was like, oh, that's hype, blah blah. So then when they announced the date that it was coming out, and they announced that there was going to be the whole thing of like the event, the the press event or whatever, Bob hit me up and was like, yo, I think I can get us in that. I was like, yo, sick. Nice. Let me know. And then he could, and he did. And I was like, yo, I'm going to New York. So I went to New York. I hung out with Bob. We got Korean barbecue. We ordered regular wings. We ordered spicy wings, and Bob didn't touch the spicy wings. Bob's trying to tell people now that Bob likes spicy food, but Bob didn't touch a single spicy Korean wing. So don't let him tell you no different. But after the so he went to the time slot in the morning, but my time slot was at like, I don't know, like 6 p.m. or something like that. So like after we ate, we went to go do that. I was like, yo, you gotta play Bomberman. It's sick. It's the best
I was gonna say
it was even better than Breath of the Wild. And I was like, all right, fine, I'll play Bomberman, dude. I'll let that be the first game I play on this console.
Yeah.
Bomberman,
it's on sale right now
trash.
On the eShop for $10,
Game
and
sucks.
I've thought about it.
Never let Bob pick your neck. When the Nintendo Swap comes out, if Bob tells you to play a game first, don't play it first. But yeah, no, I played that, and then I was like, this game's kind of mid. And then I played Sonic Mania. I was like, this game's cool. And then I played Breath of the Wild, and I was like, oh my God, how is this possible? Like, and it's like funny, like in hindsight, because like I took my uncle because I had a +1 for the thing, and it was like, so like we were like asking them, like, can we undock it? Like it's like is that a thing that we're allowed to do? And it's just like something that you just like, yeah, like Bob specifically to bring him up, he like slams his Switch, you know, it was like, but back then it was like such a cool thing to be like, yo, docking this is wild, like, and take it out, and I'm still playing the game. It doesn't make me like confirm or nothing like that. It's wild, dude. It's crazy. And I played the game, and I did the whole like Breath of the Wild, like you come out of the like the Shrine of Resurrection, and it does the like sweeping camera motion, and to this day it gives me the same chills, and I'm like, yo, this is freaking crazy. But it's I can't wait until the next game comes out, because it's like that moment, like that's like the Great Plateau is still sick all the time. But once I get off the Great Plateau, I'm like, I don't feel like playing this game anymore. So like I can't wait until like to play the second game, because like it will be brand new for longer, and it will be great and cool. But then after that I played Splatoon 2, and that was also a mind F, because I like the first Splatoon. I was like, yo, this game's sick, and I love this game. But it was like tethered, you know, because the Wii U was like, I had the handheld or whatever, but like you weren't like playing the game on the handheld like that. You needed the handheld for the map. So like playing that on, it was weird because they swapped the buttons for whatever reason. I don't know why. It was like, I think to pull up the map or something. I forgot what the button was used for on the Wii U. No, it was to super jump. That's what it was. It was to, no, it wasn't even that. They just made a super jump button, because you can't super jump by just tapping on the touchscreen like you could in Wii U. And they changed the jump button from something different versus what it was on the Wii U, and that was weird to get used to. But other than that, it was like just dope to be like, yo, I'm playing this on this console. I don't have to look at the TV. So like I'm just looking at this console. It's freaking sick. And then I got a Switch cookie and a pin.
Nice. A Switch cookie, like just a cookie that looked like a Switch. Did you eat it?
As a no. I gave it to my uncle.
Nice. Did he eat it?
I don't know. I have no idea. But then fast forward to when the Switch came, or like, so during that event, like the initial presentation, the one that everybody got to experience and watch, me and Bob pre-ordered it everywhere, just to make sure that we got one. And then once I saw that I got the Amazon pre-order, I was like, okay, I can cancel my Walmart and Target and Best Buy pre-orders or whatever, and just keep the Amazon one, because I know it's gonna be good. And I had it delivered to Logan's house because I was just hanging out over there. And we played Breath of the Wild, and I was playing Breath of the Wild. And this is like a story that I like tell whenever people ask about like like the Switch being like we need to blow your mind or whatever. And we were like, I was playing Breath of the Wild, and Logan was like, yo, you want to go get something to eat? was like, no, I'm playing Breath of the Wild. And I was like, wait, I can do that. Like, I can do both. And I undocked the Switch and I freaking went in the car and we went to go get food. Switch is so cool, dude.
Man, it is. It's a side note. I just looked it up and I was like, I wonder if anybody's selling a Switch cookie on eBay from that event. And 100% somebody's selling it. I'm going to put the screenshot in the Discord thing. What a silly time. There it is.
There I think it was just a sugar cookie. It was just like a sugar cookie. Yeah. That's the cookie. That is the one.
It's like, why do we do these things?
I don't know. That's why, like, I didn't even care, but I was like, I'm not going to eat this cookie.
Yep.
But the event was cool. I have videos from the.
It sounds like it, yeah.
Maybe I'll upload them or something. It's too late. We already passed the anniversary. I should have thought to do that.
Yeah. I mean, still, people still enjoy it.
It's neat.
It's just been a fun time. It is kind of crazy that it's 5 years though, like coming up. Somehow it still feels less than that. Like that is for some consoles, that's towards the end of their life. Like, and I mean, maybe also the Switch could be towards the end of its life. We don't know.
I mean, we do know. Like Nintendo said, it's not.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So yeah, it's just weird, that it's been 5 years at this point, and like, but it has. So
it's like it's weird because it's like it's still very cool that I can play a game like Breath of the Wild on a handheld, but like back then it was like it was magic. It was like this is witchcraft.
It is one of those things where like you could never experience Breath of the Wild for the first time. We could just never experience the Switch for the first time. Yeah. Again, like even with it feeling
like this impossible thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, even like like the Doom port and the Skyrim port or whatever back in the day, like those kinds of things. Like obviously more impressive ports have happened since then, but it's just never gonna
like,
quite.
The thing about that
diminishing returns,
Like for me, playing Breath of the Wild was the most impressed I was going to get with this console, because after I play in terms of like technologically, because after I played that, I was like, okay, any game that comes out this generation is possible on this thing. It's not going to look as good, but it is possible on this console, period. Like the core gameplay of anything on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One is possible here. And ports like that just kind of proved my point, but they didn't like blow my mind in the way that Breath of the Wild did.
Yeah. I mean, I'm curious, Breath of the Wild 2, like you said, like worst case scenario, absolute worst case scenario, it's more of the same of my favorite game of all time. And that's a pretty good worst case scenario. Best case scenario is that it blows our mind again in some other way. And I don't know what that would be, but that's kind of the point,
I can't imagine it. Like, I didn't think that Breath of the Wild was going to blow my mind like it did. So
yeah. Yep.
It wouldn't be fair of me to doubt that.
So it's been 5 years, and it's been 5 hours since we've been doing this podcast. Not really. That's not even that long. But it's Q&A time is how I'm transitioning to that. Here we go. Let's Q&A it up, If you got questions in Discord, feel free to ask them. I mean, we're talking to people in Discord anyway, so, both and. All right. From Twitter, Kraus the Mouse, or the M Kraus. I don't know why I said Kraus the Mouse, but I did. Said rip Panda controller. What happened with the Panda controller?
That's so sad. I'm so sad about that, dude. I'm so sad.
What's going on?
They got COVID, man. They got COVID.
Oh, yeah. Just
they refunded everybody, because I was like, I don't know. It was like the Kickstarter campaign was supposed to end at the end of December. And they refunded me on my birthday. I was like, what the heck? I was like, why did they refund me? And then they tweeted that they're canceling. I was like, what? I was like, that sucks. So they're not canceling it. They're postponing it, but they canceled the Kickstarter. Gotcha. And they're just going to secure funding from, venture capitalists. Yeah. Stuff like that, because they can be like, hey, people want this, we got the Kickstarter already. So that's neat, but like it just means that they're going to, like, it's not coming out when we thought it was going to come out. And that sucks.
When did we think that was, and when is it coming out now? Do we know?
The target date was by the end of this year.
Oh wow, that's a while anyway.
It's going to be even farther out now. Probably.
Man.
Especially since Omarion is doing his thing, you know.
Yeah. My friend who's my DM and also my pediatrician and all that stuff. He got Omicron today, and he
That
said he's
Omarion.
seen. So again, he's a pediatrician. So, but he's seen in the past like 2 weeks, has seen 123 patients with COVID or something like that in the past 3 weeks, which is like,
That's
man,
crazy.
that's so much.
It's so messed up because I did not know anybody, a single person directly that had COVID until the last like month. Like that is crazy. That is, it's like more COVID than it has ever been COVID. But people are just living life like it's normal. Like what the heck? What is this?
Yeah, it's very insane. It's crazy to think about, or the early days of COVID too. Like every time I think about PAX, it still blows my mind that it was like, we did it, but there was one confirmed case in Boston, and we were all like, what's going on? And now it's like, oh yeah, everybody's got it, and like boop 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 boop.
Yeah, like see, but the thing is, like, I feel like we always took, like, I still take it as seriously as I did then, where it's like I'm not going anywhere needlessly. If I'm going somewhere, it's with people that I know are vaccinated and they're not going anywhere needlessly. So it'll be cool, you know. And that's how I felt about when we went to PAX, where it was like, I'm just not going to gamer, dude. Like gamers are terrified of going to conventions. And it's like PAX Pox and all that stuff. I'm like, yo, dude, wash your hands. Like, you know, like you're touching controllers that other gamers that you know don't wash their hands aren't washing their hands. So you do your due diligence for yourself and others that do wash their hands, and you wash your hands. And you know, we always had like hand sanitizer on deck and all that good stuff, you know. So it was like, you know, just be careful.
Yeah, it's gonna be like 2027 till we can go to PAX again. But when we do,
PAX boy, 2027, dude. It's
PAX 2027. Poofy Rain asked, "Do you believe that step going forward for Kirby games and Pokemon Legends Arceus, as in story and gameplay?" Worded a little off, but I get what it's saying. Like, is this like the big step forward in terms of story and gameplay for Kirby and Pokemon?
Kirby, maybe.
And so on.
Kirby, maybe. Pokemon, I don't think so. Yeah. I think for Pokemon, it's another step forward. I don't think that Pokemon is going to have the same sort of Breath of the Wild moment where one day it's Skyward Sword and the next day it's Breath of the Wild. And I mean, granted, Zelda didn't really have that because they have the handheld games and those are like accepted to be like this completely different thing, but it still feels like a big gap, you know. It still feels like they made this huge leap out of nowhere with Skyward Sword, but they like iterated on like how they were going to like step away from the conventions of Breath of the Wild with things like Triforce Heroes and freaking A Link Between Worlds and all that stuff. But with Pokemon, I think that the evolution will happen before our eyes. And that's
where like I could see the next like Gen 9, it could be, it's definitely in my mind, it's non-fixed camera for the whole game, other than like maybe inside buildings or gyms or something like that. So like, whatever the right word for that would be, I don't know, moving camera, something like that. So that, and then also that like maybe some open areas and stuff like that continue, and like Pokemon are in the overworld and there's not tall grass by itself at all, maybe, I don't know, that kind of a thing. But it's otherwise it's kind of like more or less just the trainer's journey in a more concise and directed history, more or less. You know what I mean?
That's what I think. I think that like because of the feedback that they've been getting, and like it's very clear that they do care about the feedback, and the way that they've structured this generation specifically, I don't think that they're going to do what they've done in the past, where it's like they don't really talk to each other from game to game, but rather it's like every other game. It's like, oh, okay, we can implement what the team before us did before the last game that we did now. I think that they're going to like move forward with like stuff that they did with Arceus, and it'll be like a fully open world game, and it will implement the trainer's journey, and it like might look marginally better, you know, like that sort of thing. And maybe there are some more like emerging gameplay things than are like being teased with, or not like teased because they're not like being like, hey, we might do more than this, but like that are seem like teases to us that are people that like accept that like this is a process for them. Like this isn't like their end goal. They're trying to continue to evolve Pokemon.
Yeah.
I think that it will be closer to Breath of the Wild than Arceus is, and I think the next thing will be closer to Breath of the Wild than that last thing was, but I don't think that they're going to be 1-to-1 with it for at least another like 5-ish years.
Yeah, no,
we should be on pace with Breath of the Wild, to be fair.
Yeah,
Pokemon's 25 years old. Breath of the Wild came out when Zelda was 30, so
yeah, that's true. I mean, in general, yeah, I feel like good things will continue to happen, but it's always going to be behind the curve, and that's fine, you know. Like, I mean, it's not ideal, but it's kind of like me being mad about it's not going to be the thing change. Like with the graphics and stuff that I don't know, whatever, the Forbes article and stuff that people were mad. They were like, it can't look. I'm like, here's the thing. I'm pretty sure they hit their graphical target with this game. Like they're like, this is more or less what we want it to look like. Like, yeah, it would have been nice if it looked better, but like, here we go. That's what we're getting. So like, to some degree, complaining to somebody about something that they're
this doesn't look like Elden Ring is a crazy, it's a crazy complaint. It is an insane complaint. It's funny because it's like people say, like people bring that up and it's like, oh, it's not too much to ask. And it's like, it is though. It's a lot to ask. That would be like walking up to your toddler that just learned how to ride a tricycle and be like, oh, people are literally flying to space right now. Like, what? It's like,
but that toddler is the biggest media franchise in this entire world.
It's a whole nother set of like experiences, expertise, priorities, knowledge.
I think priorities is a huge part of it for sure. Where like for Elden Ring and for, you know, Dark Souls, I mean, any next gen game or whatever, priority is like graphics have to be good. Like that's an important thing. And like Game Freak just straight up, they're like, yeah, we'll do something. We'll make it pretty good, you know?
The thing that they care about the least is graphics. They're like, yo, we went to Pokemon to be Pokemoning, you know?
Yeah. Which again, I'm all for it looking better and as good as possible.
I definitely want it to look better. That'd be great. But I don't care that much to be pissed about it. You know, it's like, this is what the game looks like. They never promised me that the game was going to look like real life. They never said that to me. I'm not being bamboozled, you know?
Yeah, right.
And to act like you're being bamboozled because the other company that has no relation to them at all is doing something is crazy. Like, it's wild. Like, what?
It's I mean, we're mostly referencing the Forbes article, but also like in case Max, if you're listening, this isn't a subtweet to you.
No, I'm not even talking about Max. That's something that people say that. That's like
oh, for sure,
a thing that people say, and it's because they're coming out close to each other. I wasn't even talking about Max, even though I did have that exchange with Max earlier. But yeah, like it's a popular comparison right now because they're coming out next to each other, and it's like it's 2022, which is that's another thing that's dumb. It's like
2022 and Metal Slug Tactics looks like pixel art, like, you know, like it's like what? Which looks great, by the way, graphically at least, or whatever. I saw your question there, Alec. We'll get to that.
this whole debate gives me stress headaches. It's like so stupid. Like if the Pokemon game has less Pokemon, like if they said, yo, there's going to be 500 Pokemon in this video game and the game launches with 400, that's when you're mad. That's when it makes sense to be mad. It's like, I was promised a thing and they did not give me thing. But when you were promising yourself a thing in your head, being mad at the company for not giving you the thing that you promised yourself in your head is not normal. It's not okay. You know, like walking out at midnight and being like, the sun's not out. It's crazy. I'm like, I want the sun to be out right now because the sun is out in a different country for me. Why can't the sun be out for me too? It's like, oh my God.
Yeah, Alex said it's at the end of the day, if it's not what you want, just don't buy the game, which is, yeah, exactly that. You know, or like do buy the game and show them who's really, you know,
show them who's boss.
Show them who's boss. No, but for real, I mean, yeah, I think so. Pokemon Legends Arceus, I think we answered that question. Like this, I think will like is showing other things to come. Probably some things will stick, some things won't stick. You know, just like Double Battle stuck, but Mega Evolutions didn't stick. That kind of a thing. You know, it'll be whatever. Or I mean, like, stuck in some cases, but as far as Kirby goes, I bet now there'll just be a 3D and a 2D thing, and like the 2D games will probably, hopefully, continue to be the interesting 2D games based on it.
I think it depends on how well this does. I could see a world where Kirby's Mario, like how like after Mario 64, 2D games just died.
Yeah, but then they came back, you know, after
exactly. That's what I mean. Like,
so that's what I'm saying. Where it's like it's two different series,
3D for a minute.
Yes,
and then it's like, hey, remember 2D Kirby though?
Exactly.
Like if this does well, but if it just does normal Kirby numbers, I could see them like maintaining both.
Yeah.
More.
The nice thing is like, yeah, I would imagine the 2D games that they do, whenever they do them, would probably be because they don't have to like, I don't know, force one out or something in the same way that they would like. There are interesting 2D games. I haven't played that many Kirby games to be perfectly honest. Like Planet Robobot, I hear great things about that, and it's like, oh, it's interesting mechanics and twists and stuff like that. So they can just like wait till they have those cooler ideas, do those 2D games, but then it's kind of easier to do, like just neat locales and stuff like that is a little bit easier to implement in just like making a 3D game a little bit better, because you can kind of just rely on that a little bit sometimes. And I don't know. Yeah, something about like they can play it safe with 3D games and people will be happier with them playing it safe with 3D games for a while. Eventually they'll get sick of it or whatever, but you know, also more possibilities in 3D stuff. So should be fun. But yes, Alec asked a question on Discord. So before that just like fully disappears out of anywhere. What did I do to deserve all these SRPGs this year? Thank you, universe. Yeah, Triangle Strategy, Metal Slug Tactics. There's others. I bought Into the Breach, but I haven't played it yet, and that's from a while ago. But Mario Rabbids. Yes, Advanced Wars, Marvel Midnight Suns. I don't remember what else, but that's a lot of stuff. I'm personally excited about a bunch of those.
I'll play
at least 3.
I'll play Advanced Wars.
Oh yeah, rumors of a new Fire Emblem game. That's true. Or at least a remake or something like that.
I refuse to play Rabbids. I'm definitely not playing that.
Did you ever play the first one?
Absolutely not.
It was fun. I liked it.
Hard pass.
Yep. It was a good time. All right. So yeah, let's play all those games. Alec, I would like to see, and Justin, both of you guys, I'd like to see a ranking at the end of the year of your
top
SRPGs
10 SRPGs in 2022.
Nice. Jumbo said, what part of Kirby and the Forgotten Land are you most looking forward to? I'm really excited about that Waddle Dee hub world.
I mean, just the game being 3D. Like I want to experience what a 3D Kirby game feels like to play. Because I have, other than the air ride, you know, because that was like a peek at that, at the potential. And I want to see if this game follows through on that.
Yeah. I don't even know if I can say for me. I mean, probably just the same. Yeah. It just being a 3D game, it just looking like a fun world. And like, I think the atmosphere is probably a lot of it, honestly, just like, just experiencing it, you know, because gameplay wise, it's not that I have played this game before or anything, but I'm sure it won't be like that different from a bunch of other things, basically Kirby, but I've moved in 3D and I've played as Kirby before. They'll just be those two things put together, and that's fine. I'm good with that. And I'm sure there's going to be interesting not power-ups, but whatever the
Copy
abilities, copy abilities and stuff like that. I think the 2-player part I'm excited about specifically.
Yeah, that too.
And that, yeah. But yeah, honestly, the Waddle Dee hub world, if they do that right, it could just help bring the whole game together and not feel like, I mean, it will be, one level at a time kind of a thing. But if it somehow feels like not that, like Ukulele and the Impossible Lair, for example, I remember that game, the hub world really ties together the whole thing, because there's a level, you could have a level in the overworld, and then you do a puzzle in the overworld, and now like there's water on top of that level book or something, and now suddenly when you go into the level, the whole thing it's a water level now, or like there was water before, it was a water level now, or it was water level and then it gets frozen and now it's like an ice level when you go down in there, and like that kind of just interaction with
like
things
Sonic
was really
3
cool.
is a good example of that versus like Mario games.
Yeah.
Or like the old 2D Mario games where it's like, all right, you're on Donut Bridge or whatever, right? And you're on Donut Bridge. There's no real reason for it. But Mario, but Sonic, it's like, yo, Knuckles just punched you in the face, dude. What are you going to do about it? Oh, shoot, Knuckles was being brainstormed by Eggman. Why? It's like the whole thing has a plot.
Yeah.
And it's told in like that stitches the levels together. It's like this happens so that.
Cool.
I think hub worlds make games feel like that too, where it's like, even though there's not usually as hard of a like inciting incident from level to level, it feels more seamless because it's like I played the game in the level and then I left the level and I was still playing the game. I didn't look at a loading screen and wait until it took me to another level. I walked to the level. I'm here because I walked myself here.
Yeah. For what it's worth, like in thinking about Kirby and stuff in context of all of that, is I'm kind of glad that Star Allies existed for the reasons that I feel like it got everything out of their system for like I guess it's not as much in context as that. It just, whatever words that you said made this thought come to my mind. But like it got everything out of their system of like, here's like the celebration of the franchise and all that kind of thing. And like, well, let's, just do all the safe stuff. Here you go, have fun. So that now they could start fresh and kind of like clean slate and not feel like, oh, but we've got to do something for the fans. Cause like, no, you did something for the fans. You did it. And like, hopefully the fans are going to like this. I think they will, but
like 3D World did. But
yeah,
but I don't know.
Or the opposite of Pokemon in some ways too, where it's like they always keep having it like, but are you guys gonna like this thing? Like Legends Arceus is the closest to that for sure. And to do that, they had to quote unquote do BDSP right beforehand, to be like, no, we're still, but don't worry about it.
I think that it had a negative effect.
I do. Oh,
because
for sure.
Pretty much everybody that I've talked to about this game, including people like you that are more fans of that traditional experience, have played that and they're like, it's kind of mid.
Yeah.
Like most people that I know, especially people that have played the DLC, like Sword and Shield more than they like Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl. Like significantly. Yeah. And I think that says a lot. Yep. It says a lot that the old formula is tired. the thing has got to go. So like,
yeah. So.
But also Gen 4 sucks. that's another part of it too.
Yeah, it doesn't help. Moving into Discord, still Pokemon related in this one. Inda asks, the fact that Pokemon Legends Arceus is divided into different areas with a hub provides further support of AJ's Arceus as Pokemon Skyward Sword hypothesis. Should the game be renamed Pokemon Legends AJus in his honor?
Absolutely.
Nice, Inda.
I don't know, man. It's a double-edged sword being like, yo, this Pokemon thing, I'm telling you, this is going to happen. And everybody being like, you're an idiot. And then the thing happens. And then people are like, this happened. This is a thing. But, come on, man. I'm not even asking for the I don't want flowers. Just don't call me an idiot when I say that it might happen in the first place. That's all I want. Just hear me out next time.
Feeling heard, it matters. It is. I'm going to skip Mega Man's because Inda has another one that will come back to Mega Man's. Inda asks, any tip for people just starting out on their journey of King Kunta worship? Asking for a friend.
That's a fact. First of all, don't be like Trev. Don't be like Trevor.
Yeah.
And he he's just being disrespectful to Kunta. to Kung Fu Kenny.
Kung Fu Kenny.
Yo, this man.
This is Kendrick Lamar.
This man don't know nothing about K-Dot. Yes.
Okay.
So like that's exactly what I was doing. Like I was just like naming all these like monikers that he has, because he like that's like part of his like album rollouts, is like he'll have like a whole new like
interesting
persona, as it were. And like we were just naming all of them because it was like, you don't know who Kendrick Lamar is. Like I know he, like if we said Kendrick Lamar, he's like, oh, I've heard that name before. But not hearing all of those names and not being like, oh, that's Kendrick Lamar. You've never heard a Kendrick Lamar song at that point. So we were shaming him for that, and we changed his name from Trev to Trevor for that, because that's a Trevor move, not knowing who Kendrick Lamar is. So yeah,
I don't know that I've listened to much of his since To Pimp a Butterfly, and that I listened to that one a little bit, and then past that not a whole lot. So I've got some catching up to do.
Acceptable. Like the fact that you put 2 and 2 together, that it's like, oh, that's Kendrick Lamar. That means that you've heard enough to not be a blasphemer. You know what I mean? It's like this man, the disrespect. I was about to ban him from every platform. I was about to ban him from every. I'm a mod in Wolf Den. He was about to never be able to see a Wolf Den video again. Oof. It would have hurt, but it had to be done, you know. But he came around. People gave him playlists and stuff. So he's got
good stuff. Here's the thing, like
less Trevor.
I don't listen to a whole lot of hip hop in general, but the criticisms that I have of it usually are the times that the music behind it is not particularly interesting, which is definitely not exclusively the case, and is less and less the case, I feel like, over time.
It's super not the case with Kendrick, because he's
100%,
like a whole jazz band.
I think that was why I was like, this is awesome. And then also the other thing would be lyrical content, which just totally depends. Like if it's thoughtful and like well written and stuff,
that's entirely where I'm at, and I get shamed for it on Twitch.
And but like, because
we have like a lot of Zoomers, like Ben, Zoomer. So he's like, man, I just want to hear the guy, croon about his marijuana, or it's usually not. Now it's not marijuana. Now they go, they're off the rocker right now, and like mumble rap. They talk about it's up now. They talk about whatever. If they're even talking about anything, I don't even know what they're saying half the time. I don't think they know what they're saying half the time. And it's like, I get it that it's like, for a lot of people, it's like, this just sounds good. I don't care what they're saying because it sounds good. But for me, at that point, it's like, well, the talent isn't in the rapper, it's the producer. The producer is what you like, not the rapper. Because it's easy to you're doing the same amount of work as the rapper when you're like, yo, this beat is dope. Because that's all they did. And was like, yo, producer, this is a dope beat. There is something to be said, I guess, too, for like, if the lyrics themselves, like lyrics aside, but just like the flow, not even lyric wise, but just like, I don't know, rhythmically, and like there's still pitch that's involved, like those kinds of things, like just as a vocal performer kind of a thing, like that's something that I still definitely appreciate. But whereas with other genres, like their ability to pick good producers last beats, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That ability is the same. Like, that's what you're doing by listening to their music. You did the same amount of work as them by being like, yo, this is a good beat. I love this beat. Like the only step that you didn't take was walking up to a mic and mumbling for 3 minutes. Like
the thing that's interesting is like, as somebody who listens to metal, and like especially there's some folks that scream or whatever, that it's like, yep, totally understand all the words they're saying, and then other times I don't understand much of it at all because it's fairly mumbled or whatever. But I generally don't care about the lyrical content that much, because it takes a back seat anyway in terms of like just in general, and at least like typically the things that the songs are about, like the tropes, in the same way that like country's tropes are not ones I care about. That's like, trucks and beer and my girl left me kind of things. I don't care about those. I'm just totally fine with most of the tropes that's like kind of in metal stuff. But if we go like to the more tropey hip hop stuff that's, you know, drugs or sex or that kind of thing, I'm like, I don't really care that much about.
And see, but the thing for me, like like subject matter doesn't turn me off usually. Usually it's just how that's presented. Like Pusha T, all he talks about is cocaine. But I'm down because like he's good at telling the story, you know? Yep. It's like, okay, you thought this through. You have a brain.
Very well said. Yeah.
Like, and that is the like bare minimum for me. Like, even if I don't directly relate with the subject matter, as long as they're able to make me understand the subject matter or like identify with it like empathetically, then it's like, okay, yeah, this is cool. I'm with this. But if it's literally just like no substance at all, you didn't even put thought into this, all you did was walk up to freaking I don't know, DJ Mustard and was like, yo, this beat is dope. Like, I'm gonna rap on this beat. Like, anybody could do that. Literally anybody could do that. You can too, listener at home.
We were hanging out with somebody, and okay, so it's my cousin, and he's like 17, 18, something like that. And he was saying how he was like really getting into hip hop and stuff. And so Ashley was telling him that her favorite Kanye song was Barry Bonds. And he was like, yeah, I listen to like every Kanye song or whatever, like blah, blah, blah. And she was like, yeah, my favorite's Barry Bonds. And he was like, oh, that's a hot take, or like, that's a deep cut or something like that. And she was like, is it really? Like, okay. And then we promptly realized he definitely, for sure, listens to like the Essentials playlist for Kanye one time on Spotify and was like, I get it.
Kanye. No, I heard Jesus Walks.
Exactly. And like we talk about that all the time. Just
Gold Digger, like, that's my song, man. You might not have heard that one. No, speaking of that, this is a Wolf Den deep cut. That's not a deep cut. It wasn't that long ago. But freaking Will, dude, Will's canceled. What did he do? For a similar reason to the Kendrick Lamar thing, but not knowing Kanye songs. Like, Kanye as a person, garbage human, but he has pretty good music. Like, and so it's like, I don't know, man.
I definitely know an odd smatter, because I don't know that I've gone and listened to Kanye stuff on my own pretty much ever. But Ashley will play a bunch of his stuff here and there in the car. So like, there's definitely albums where I know some of the songs super well, and I've never heard another one that may very well be more popular than that one, but it's like, this one's Ashley's favorite, so that's the one that I know.
I forgot which one. Like, he like couldn't name a song or something like that. I don't know. Me
like,
and you were like clowning him after that, but I don't remember exactly what it was. I'd have to like go back and find the clip. That was like, what? Like, it was almost on the level of Trevor, almost.
So there you go. All right, moving on to the next question. Good question, Inda. That was a lot of conversation off of just like 12 words that you said. Well done. Megman asked, what's Parker's that's me. What's Parker's favorite milkshake flavor? Also, what's Parker's view on lime milkshakes? Because we all know Parker is cultured. I don't know that I've ever said my name.
Were we even talking about lime milkshakes? This man added to the thing. First of all, this man comes in my chat. Well, before even that, people came in my chat and was like, yo, Mega Man's talking trash. And I was like, yo, that's cursed. That's super cursed.
Is it about apple juice?
All my homies hate Mega Man. And I don't even know. It was probably about juice or something. I don't know. I didn't care that much. I was just like, yo, it's up for Mega Man. I don't care. It's like, he talking crap about me. I'm talking crap about him. What's up? And then people were like, oh, Mega Man said something cursed. Like, his favorite flavor of milk is lime milk. And I was like, that's gross. And I was like, hold on, wait, pause though. Is this what I think it is? Like, is it like lime? Because like the first thing that came to mind to me, which is right, spoilers, was like, it was like the lime version of like strawberry milk. Cursed, super, super cursed. That's disgusting.
Interesting.
But the curveball that I was like, wait, there might be a saving grace here, is if it was like Brazilian limeade. because they use milk
Oh,
in that. And I was like, okay, if it was like
okay.
that sort of thing, and it's like you make like it's like like a blended situation.
Or kind of like, I don't know if you've had at Chick-fil-A, they have frosted lemonade.
Yeah,
And that's
stuff like
like,
that. Right.
is that okay? Yeah,
That's
which
pretty
is
similar.
delicious. That's
Exactly. But lime flavored milk, cursed. Super
interesting.
cursed. Don't want it.
I
Never.
would try it for sure. I trust Mega
cursed.
Man. You know what?
I
We'll see
don't.
what happens.
This man used toxic on Ivy, so I've never trusted him since.
I'm looking up where I can buy some of this, and we'll
Super
try it
cursed.
at some point if
Super
it's
cursed.
available anyway.
I can't do this again. Got me dead. Alec put it. That's so cursed.
Is it at I don't see it. Okay, I'm just gonna look up lime milk. I don't see it at Walmart.
No self-respecting grocery store would stock such a thing.
I
don't even entirely believe that they have it in Narnia. Mega Man probably made this up.
Yeah. Also, I have no opinions, Mega Man, unfortunately, on lime milkshakes. I would love to let you know, but I would need to partake first. And here's the thing. There's a lot of things I would try. Most foods for a cultural experience of some sort. I assume in this case, perhaps this is a New Zealand-ish thing, maybe. But I have found about myself, I am not liable to try American things that I think are gross for cultural experience, because like I'm from this place, more or less. I was born here. I've lived here enough of my life that I'm like, nah, I don't feel like trying a pork rind. Like, I don't know why. That's just one of those things. I'm like, I'm sure they're fine, but I'm not interested in the slightest. And
see,
there's a lot of things like that.
On some level, like there's things that like I've tried that like hearing it, I'm like, that sounds like it might be gross, but I've tried it. I've had like alligator and stuff like that,
for sure,
right?
exactly.
But when it sounds like it's like a health risk, like this man is curdling milk and consuming it, it's like, nah, I'm not with it.
I wonder, Mega Man, you'll have to let us know more things. As far as the first part of the question, Parker's favorite milkshake flavor. Ooh, I don't get like straight up milkshakes all that much. I don't think. Like I'll get like a I don't know, more just like an ice cream thing, and then if so, then there's like like little peanut butter cups in it or something like that. That's up there. Moose Tracks ice cream, that kind of thing. As far as milkshakes go, though, like it being more blended up and stuff, I might just go straight. I mean, Oreo milkshake is great. I might say strawberry. Just like a good strawberry milkshake is refreshing in a way.
Milkshake and strawberry milkshakes, it's not the same thing as apple juice, but I think the last time I've asked for a strawberry milkshake is when I was like 7.
Yeah, that's funny. I think so here's the thing. It's like, it definitely depends on the quality of the like strawberry portion of it or whatever. If it's like kind of janky, like, all right, here's a pink milkshake, versus it being like,
that's 8-year-old stuff. Facts.
yeah, exactly. And then like on the other side, like a really good strawberry milkshake where it's like, like strawberries and cream kind of a thing, and that's nice and refreshing. So I'm here for that. But otherwise, I mean, like, classic milkshakes. Yeah, Oreo, chocolate stuff, like mint Oreo, pretty good. I don't know. I'm not very cultured on the milkshake front. Ice cream is a little more interesting. But.
I mean, that's not true. Never mind. I rescind that. I was going to say I'll try mostly any milkshake thing, but I'm not. I rescind that preemptively. Milkshakes are pretty good, but
yeah,
can get cursed. I know. I guarantee there's like bacon milkshakes and stuff. Not
yeah. I'll say this. I'll try most things on recommendation. Like if a person that I know is like, no, I really, really like this, then like there's a good chance that I'll just try it. But you
don't know anybody that's like, yo, pork rinds, bussin'. Nobody has ever said that. Those are two things that are incompatible. If somebody said that pork rinds were bussin', they would like spontaneously self-combust. They would combust if they like meant that unironically.
Pork rinds are bussin', and I am self-combusting.
But you never even tried them before.
Yeah, it's true. Yep. And here we are. All right, last question, and then we are done for the night, y'all.
True. What do you mean
Merc,
night? We don't record this at night. We record this at 4
this
p.m.
is
Eastern time.
yeah. This is totally 10 p.m. Eastern. I mean 10 a.m. Eastern time on Saturday.
That's true. Also, that 10 a.m.
Oh, Merc, we almost were in Chattanooga this weekend, and then we decided to. So our 7-year wedding anniversary was on Monday, and we planned a trip for this weekend to go to Chattanooga. And then it was like, it's going to be snowing, and also we have a baby, and it's just easier to not go on a trip and just like celebrate here. So almost went to Chattanooga, but didn't. So I say that because that's where Merc's at. There you go. All right. But speaking of whom, ask the question.
Pork rinds? I would have never guessed
that. Merc asked, rank the video game camera perspectives. Got top down, isometric, side scrolling, first person, third person free look, like camera moves around, or third person over the shoulder.
Number one.
Third person free look.
Yeah.
100%.
Number two. Side scrolling. I think over the shoulder is like depends on the game.
Yeah. Also, it has implications to me that it's games that I generally just don't care about. You know, I'd say isometric maybe.
Isometric.
Ooh, probably side scrolling first.
I think I'm rolling with side scrolling.
Yeah. Ooh, top down could mean so many different things though too. I mean, or just has gameplay implications for a lot of different, like Divinity Original Sin, for example, is in top down probably, but it's so good. Yeah, all the old school RPGs. So,
nah, man.
Oh, that's tough.
What is even? Hold on, because in my head, top down and isometric aren't that different. Like isometric is like tilted usually a little bit.
Yeah, right.
But it's like
I think
the same idea.
Yeah, it's kind of like diorama-y sort of with isometric, I feel like. Whereas, yeah, I don't know.
Like, I don't know, freaking
like Stardew Valley. Is that isometric or top down?
Exactly. I would just call that top down. Like, yeah, I know that
I think it is probably like isometric. I would think more specific things like
isometric,
like into
feels
the breach.
like a freaking fancy word for top down.
I'll give you that. Yeah, triangle strategy would be isometric, or like Octopath Traveler, I guess maybe, or that kind of thing. But again, there's a fine line there
because there's no, like, at least as far as I know, I don't play all the arguably even most of the games that would be isometric, but there's from what I've seen, there's no like different gameplay implications between what's possible in top down and isometric. Whereas like side scrolling, first person and third person with a free roaming camera and also over the shoulder feel different to play, like noticeably. It's more than just a presentation thing.
Yeah, I could see that.
That being said, I think over the shoulder is the last place.
Yes.
First person is the place above that. Then it's top down / isometric, then side scrolling, and then number one is third person.
Honestly, maybe even above third person is second person, where you just play a game just looking at the player's face the whole time. You're always the camera's always walking backwards, and you get seasick. There you go.
Freaking like Crash Bandicoot. Crash Bandicoot's like that. Terrible.
That's you're so right.
That's even below free. That's even that's the worst one. That's worse than third person over the shoulder. Which, I mean, it's kind of third person over the shoulder, but it's like third person towards them, like head on, like third person on. I don't know. Like it's terrible. It sucks.
Said, it's only isometric if it came from the isometric region of France. Otherwise, it's just sparkling top down. Oh, that's so
there.
Good.
It is. We minted it.
Perfect. Good job, everybody. And with that, podcast has concluded.
We did the show.
Congratulations.
We already said go. Well, actually, I didn't say rate the podcast. Rate the podcast. You know, I'm not going to tell you what to rate it because that's against terms of service. But rate it what your heart tells you it should be rated. You know. And if you don't use the podcast service, but if you don't listen on the podcast service, you're a YouTube listener, you should still rate it if you have a Spotify.
It's true. It'd be probably the best thing you did all day. And probably not the best thing you did all day, but it'd be fun.
Download it somewhere. If you are a podcast listener on audio services, subscribe on the YouTube. We're going to start uploading stuff on that YouTube other than just podcasts. So you have other stuff to watch eventually.
It's true. That's the plan.
I've
got lots of ideas.
Subscribe to our other podcast. Our other YouTube channel as well. fanatixfour. If you didn't already, by some chance, if you're a Directly You fan, if you never even knew that we did another thing, we do another thing. Also, Twitch.tv. Go there too.
Yep.
Follow us on Twitter. We never plug our Twitter. So follow us on Twitter. All that stuff is linked in the description. Goodbye.
So long.